Hi, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We are still waiting on a few more attendees, but I'm sure they will trickle in. So as you know, we have SEMA in a few weeks, and we've also just been really busy, developing new products. So we have Mike here leading the discussion with our engineers over here. I will be in the chat answering any questions as well as providing links. So without further ado, I'll hand the mic over to Mike.
Thank you, Tierney. Good morning, gents. How are you today?
Morning, Mike.
Good. Good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for taking the time out. And thank you, whoever is joining us today live. We really appreciate you attending and supporting the webinars. It's been a while since we've done our last one. We've been busy. As Tierney mentioned, the guys have been going flat out developing new product all year long, but now it's go time. We've got, what are we talking about? Maybe 12 days, like 12 days of Christmas or 12 days before SEMA. Coming up quickly, guys, so no pressure. But I want to make a quick introduction to the team here. If you've joined us before, you're probably familiar with some of the guys that have joined us today. We've got Justin Schultz. He's a product development manager for the Gamma products. Justin, welcome.
Yep.
And we have Mr. John Gray, Vice President, Exhaust Exterior Products. John.
Good morning or afternoon, wherever you are.
Is it good? George Chang, Product Development Manager for Air Filters and others.
Morning.
Morning, George. And Mr. Christian Landell, Product Development Manager, Intake Systems.
Good morning.
Morning. Again, guys, thanks for taking the time out and filling some questions. And I know we got a lot to cover, so we'll jump into it real quick. But first and foremost, if anybody that is joining us today is going to be attending SEMA, we will be at Central Hall. Booth number is 23343. So definitely come by and see some of the products that we're going to touch on today, as well as talk about some of the products that we were released earlier this year. So again, welcome, and we're going to dive right in with intakes because Christian loves to talk about his product. So Christian, can you give us a couple of new products that you've just released recently?
Yeah, so I'm going to go over this year. I had to pick three. We released many of them, so I picked only three of them. So first one, I'm going to talk about the Bronco Raptor, Ranger Raptor. So it's actually two intake. I'm combining into one, but it's two different intake that we just released beginning of this year. So the Bronco Raptor 22 to 25 and the Ranger Raptor 24 to 25 with a V6 3.0 twin turbo engine. So that's for the Bronco that completed line, since the 2.3 and the 2.7 2.3 turbo and the 2.7 twin turbo are already released. The 3.0 was the last one for the line. And the Ranger is kind of starting the line because the 2.3 came in later and the 2.7 is in process right now.
Oh,
so basically Bronco and Ranger, both of them intake release beginning of this year.
Okay.
Next one, I'm going to go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to be switching to the next one.
Okay.
Next one is a Ram 1500, the 2025 Ram 1500 with Hurricane engine. So that's a big release for us. That kit also fits the Wagoner and the Grand Wagoner, all of them with Hurricane engine. We made it available in black, red, and orange. So on that one, I went like all colors from the get-go. So we have black with Pro IS and Pro Fiber. We have orange with black Pro Fiber filter. And we have the red with a Pro Drive filter. And again, this one fits the Wagoner and the Grand Wagoner too, with Hurricane engine. And the last one I was going to be talking about, it's going to be the Ram RHO. So again, this one, the Momentum kit doesn't fit the Ram RHO. Okay. We made a special kit for the Ram RHO, and we have a Track Series and a Magnum Force for the Ram RHO. So Track Series with carbon fiber tube. We made kind of this new carbon fiber tube. It's a matte carbon fiber, so that really fit nicely into the engine bay. And we also made it, like Taryn is showing on the screen, with a red Kevlar matte carbon fiber. So it's a very unique tube that we have not done before. It's a really special carbon, and it's made to really look very nice into that engine compartment. You can see on the picture there is some matte finish of carbon fiber on the engine bay or on the trim cover, so that's why we decided to go with a matte carbon fiber on it.
Nice. So you came out of the gate running with a lot of Ram products, and rightfully so, because that seems to be a pretty popular platform this year. Going back real quick to the Raptor, though, on the Bronco Raptor, what kind of power gains did you see on that?
I will have to go to the web. I don't know. On the Bronco Raptor, correct?
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Okay, 10 horsepower and 17 foot-pound of torque on the Bronco Raptor.
Okay. Was it pretty challenging to try to come up with the gains because the factory intake was pretty efficient, or was it just one of those things that you guys found some secrets to unlock to get a little more power and torque out of that?
I mean, all the vehicles are becoming more and more complex to work with, to produce with. They are getting more and more efficient, but yeah, we came up with creating more flow to it, and it kind of responded very well on the truck. And all those EcoBoost engine, when you put more flow to it, it actually responds pretty well, and we get more power to that.
That's kind of like where I was leading towards. It seems that the manufacturers on the newer platforms and newer engines, they're getting a little bit better at developing or putting in their intakes out of the box that aren't as restrictive as they were previously, to where it was a little bit less complex for engineering to come up with intakes to get more power out of these engines. On the EcoBoost, though, but there's also OE replacement filters for somebody who doesn't want to replace their intake, Christian?
Yes, I do believe that. Can I have Josh confirm on that, correct?
Yeah, we do have the OE filters, the replacement filters for the Rangers and the Bronco, all the Raptors, where there's F-150, Broncos, and Rangers.
So like Christian was saying, George, that the EcoBoost definitely benefits from higher flow. It loves the air. And obviously the filter is a key element in the intakes, correct?
Yes, it is.
And here you go right here, 68% increased flow rate. That's a game changer just for that, just out of the gate with changing the filter without even changing the intake. That's pretty good.
Yeah, you get pretty good gains from the OE filters, because you got to remember the paper filters tend to be very restrictive compared to the medias we supply.
And just to clarify, our filter brand, OER replacement filter, is the Pro 5 or the dry filter element. These are washable, reusable filters that any customer can use in their stock intake. Mm-hmm. And then what Christian was covering was the aftermarket intakes that we produce here at aFe for the Bronco Raptor as well as the Ranger Raptor. So Christian, I'm going to jump back over to you and go back to the Ram. So the RHO intake design is different than the Ram 1500, like the Wagoneer, that has a similar engine, correct?
Correct, yes. The engine is similar. It's still a Hurricane engine, but the RHO has a high output engine, but the big difference is getting the air from the hood. There's this hood inlet, and all the air is directed from the hood into the airbox. So that's why the Momentum kit will technically fit on it, but you won't get air into it. So it doesn't make sense to put that kit into it. That's why we went to a Track Series and a Magnum Force that actually we build that airbox to seal to the hood and get directly that cold air coming from that hood inlet to get directly into the airbox and to the filter. So those kits are really made for the RHO.
That's a really good point, and you guys have really put a lot of thought and effort in developing two separate components, because I remember when we first brought in the RHO, you said right out of the gate, it's like, this is not going to have a momentum to it, the Hurricane RHO, but the Hurricane in the other Ram products, those will have the option for the momentum. So
correct. Yeah, we make the kit that's made for the truck. We just have to adjust to how the air is guided to the intake, how it's set up, and the setup to make the right kit for the right truck. So
yeah. No, rightfully so. And you gave it some options too. With a Ram RHO, you have the Track series and the Magnum Force. The Track series obviously coming with the Magnum, or excuse me, the carbon fiber matte red and blue, I believe, for the
No, so
RHO.
carbon,
Yeah.
matte carbon fiber and red Kevlar carbon fiber.
Okay.
Both of them in matte finish.
Gotcha. And then on the Magnum Force, you get the standard rotomolded plastic black, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Wow, so you got a lot of choices for that platform. I think that's going to be a home run. And by the way, it's not a big secret, but we will have a Ram RHO in the booth as one of our vehicle displays. So not a spoiler alert. If you're going, you'll see it there. If you're not, you'll definitely see it after, because we'll probably follow up with another webinar post-show and go over more detail, some of the products and the highlights of the show. So Christian, what other products have you been working on?
Yeah, so I mean, one of the big projects I worked on this year was we made a huge scoop for the Tacoma. So for the new Tacoma, we made this scoop that covers all the front end of the vehicle and pick up the air right behind the grill, and it's getting directly to the intake. So it's kind of a pretty unique scope that we have. I don't think there's anything out there similar to that beside that older Tacoma scope. It's kind of similar to looking at the previous generation right here.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
So that this part is fully covering all the front end, and it's kind of replacing the radiator cover, and it's made to capture the air directly beyond the front grill and directly to our intake. So it's really getting the most cold air you can get to our intake to get the most performance from it. So we have it in black for kind of like a factory look, and we also have it in red if you're really trying to really stand out. And that red, you can actually see it beyond the grill. You can see those kind of scoop louver beyond the grill to actually stand out, and even when the hood is closed.
Nice. So you took the factory scoop and improved upon it, and at the same time made it more
you can see on that
aesthetically
picture,
pleasing.
the factory scoop was very something minimal. It's not really a scoop. It was kind of just getting the air, blocking the air, getting the air to the intake. But this one, we actually really want. It was the way from the beginning of studying on that intake, thinking that how to make that big scoop and make sure he has a big inlet that makes sure the cold air is directly to it. So how to maximize the cold air to the intake from the beginning.
That makes a big difference, definitely. And what kind of airflow gains were achieved by that?
We don't have any percentage gain on that one. It just because it's really something that you have to see on the street. It's not really something you can visualize on a flow bench, because opening would be kind of similar on that.
Okay, so but what you're doing is you're guaranteeing cooler air from outside instead of ambient engine heat air on the inside.
Correct, yes.
Understood. Nice. Well, that's a very good piece. Does that work with stock intakes, or is that just specifically for
momentum intake? It's not going to work with the factory intake.
Understood. Okay, so the stock scoop will work with the new Tacoma momentum intake.
Correct, yes.
Got it. And are you going to have this product out at the SEMA this year?
Yeah, it's not going to be on the vehicle. It's going to be on the stand, but yeah, we're going to have it.
So we'll have that on display. Nice. Speaking of Tacoma, how are the products doing for that platform, particularly your products, the intake and the scoop?
Yeah, I mean, the scoop just got released a couple weeks ago, so it's still fairly new, but the intake was released last year, and it's working very good. The sales are very good. I know it was on back order a few times, so the sales are very good on it.
So the turns are doing really well. I noticed that you had some of the products on pre-sale. So obviously when you went to manufacture your first run, these were all spoken for.
Right, yeah. Most of the time we like to put it a few months, sometimes ahead on the web to kind of get some order on it, to judge how many we need to produce sometimes. That's a good guidance on it. But yeah, many times we get pre-order and the first batch is already going out before we have enough time to make it. So
to make it again.
That's kind of nice to that, yeah.
Along with our other products that are in demand. That's great. That's good to hear. Are there any other products that you're going to be bringing to SEMA with you that you can kind of tip us off on?
I mean, that's kind
that
of
you
a
can
big
share?
line for intake. I mean, we do have gonna have a few other intake on it. I mean, we have, I know we are gonna have the G70, so we're gonna have our Takata intake on the G70.
Mhm.
We're gonna have on display our new Jeep 4XC momentum intake too. So we're gonna have a few different intake on display.
And of course, you'll have the RHO intake installed.
Right, yeah, we're gonna have the Magnum Force, so the track series on the vehicle and the Magnum Force next to it. That's
Okay.
understandable.
Any other products that you're going to have out there?
And if you want me to make the full list of all the products we have there,
No, we don't want to give it all away. Like I said, we want to just kind of tease the folks, and if you're going, don't want to have a spoiler alert, but we'll definitely go in depth with the products. But yeah, I see that there's a couple of other things for the Jeep and maybe even some additional products for the Tacoma. That's great that those platforms are still well, I know the Tacoma was going to be a pretty popular one this year, but the Jeep's still thriving, it seems like. So knowing, what I touched on earlier, what the OE manufacturers are doing with their designs in terms of like intake and charge pipes and exhaust and things of that nature. Christian, what are some of the challenges that you're faced with on the newer platforms that you see these new cars, these 25, 26 models coming in compared to like, let's say the 20 models that you used to, design and work on? What are some of those
yeah, I mean, all the
obstacles?
newer vehicles have more and more electronic, more and more sensor to it, more and more. They are looking at more and more calibration on it. And for example, even on that 4XC already, you can see that there is a special fitting on it. It's called an ejector T fitting that actually measures the airflow and a sensor monitoring. So if this is out of calibration, you're going to get a check engine light. So that's why we really test a lot on different vehicle, and we test on the flow bench, test on the vehicle to make sure we don't have check engine light. And many times we have to come up with a new fitting or make sure the air is measured correctly. So that's more and more sensor. It's getting more and more complex. And the nice thing, we have that capability. We have that capability to design on a computer, to design complex fitting, or to design complex injection molding fitting, or aluminum fitting that needs to be connected to it. So for us, it's just taking a bit of more time sometimes to make sure we got it correctly and everything is running correctly. But we do have that capability to design all those parts and make it fit and make it work the way it's supposed to be.
Oh, definitely. I'm sure it helps too, having a electronics company under our umbrella of under our company with PSI Power.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, we do have, knowing about that electronic is a good thing. We try not to use electronic to fix the electronic. We're trying to make it work mechanically. So that's all our intake. We don't want to cheat the electronic. We just want to make it read correctly on it.
Right. You want it to be compatible. And that's one of the things that we've touched on in a couple of training seminars with our partners and distributors, is that aFe is they do the due diligence here is to make sure that we test the products within themselves in terms of compatibility. So if the intake is doing really well with the RHO, and then lock comes in with a scorcher or a pedal to metal, they have to be compatible so they don't conflict with each other. They work harmoniously.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
That's definitely the benefit of having the PSI Power at our disposal. That's great. Well, thanks, Christian, for sharing that information on the intakes. George, I'm going to jump over to you because I know you've been busy with not just filters, but you've been busy with a lot of protection products for some of these new platforms that we're talking about. Can you share with us some of those filters?
Filter wise, I would say one of the biggest releases that we have was for the RHO, the Ram RHO filter. Just it was a little bit complex to originally come up with it. The filter, when we were checking it out, the OE filter is, if I remember correctly, it's about 6 pounds. But the filter is humongous, and it's super heavy. So it was one of the tasks that we wanted to do was lighten up the filter. But there's so much media, so much so much of the component that it's heavy. So ended up going with the plastic top, inverted top, to lighten. So we took about a pound off the filter.
Wow. Okay.
And then also kind of reinforce the bottom section. You can't see it on the pictures, but the polyurethane has basically a skeleton, a frame skeleton embedded into it for strength. You can't see it on the filter, but it's in there. So this I gotta say, this filter took a little bit of time to develop to come up with it.
It's a nice looking piece. And if you could go back to there you go, the stock filter that comes with it from the factory, is that a solid cover? Is that like just a flat?
It's polyurethane. Well, it's not polyurethane. They're using like a plastisol type material. It's very dense, very heavy, and if you were to look at it not at an angle but sideways, you will see that it's about like 3/4 of an inch to an inch in thickness. Wow. It's they overdid it, I think. I don't know what they were.
Well, I mean, just looking at the comparison, it looks like our filter looks like it has more has surface area, and it looks so there's more air can get into the engine through the intake.
Yeah, there's definitely more. Also, in making it inverted, you got the extra. I mean, if you were to look at any of our intake filters, the inside of this filter is the same surface area as our intake filter. That just tells you the massive size of the filter.
That is huge. It's kind of hard to tell, but like approximately what are the dimensions? Like what's the radius or what's the dimension?
I don't know off my head. I mean, I can tell you like, I mean, if she's looking at a filter and on the webpage right there, if you look at the 91 or 92, it's the same surface area as that filter.
Wow. That is big. So the stock filter already is pretty big, but as you mentioned, it's pretty beefy and heavy. You guys got more air into it and lightened up the unit itself. And again, there you go. I was going to just mention the filter media. So you have the dry filter media and the ProGuard 7 available for that?
Yeah, we got all three medias available for it.
And for those at home, kind of keeping score, the dry is best used for light off-road, daily driving. It's the most convenient because you don't have to re-oil it. And then, of course, the Pro 5R has the higher flow rate.
Yes, that is correct.
And it does require the oil on the servicing, but you are going to get a little bit more power out of that one. And then the ProGuard 7 is optimal for anybody using the truck for a lot of off-road, a lot of debris in the environment, on or off-road, but it also has the largest dirt and dust holding capacity, correct?
That is correct.
Awesome. Yay. I remembered my my tutelage. So what other filters? Before I leave you on the, I was gonna say on the RHO. So what's the stock filter like? Do they have a replacement filter out there for it? The OEs, the factory one?
The OE is basically, it's that same filter you see right there. Okay. The OE filter, the replacement filter is, it looks, if you were to look at it, people have the tendency to think that it's reusable, like a washable filter.
That was where I was going with that,
Yeah, because it does look like it, but it's not. It's
disposable.
Yes, it is like it's not paper media, but it's basically like a non-reusable media.
Okay. So it's not serviceable. Once you hit a certain mileage, you toss it in the trash and then you have to get another one.
Yeah, you have to replace
it. With the aFe filter, obviously those are washable and reusable. Great.
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah. Excellent. That's a great selling point. And I did notice that when you had them on pre-sale, those things sold out real quick, and then you're already on your third or fourth production run.
And we still back order. I mean, it's
that is a good problem to have.
This is a filter that's really. I mean, I think we're deep. Maybe there's one company out there doing this filter, but we were the first ones out in the market with this filter.
Not just the first ones, the best ones. Come on, George.
Yes.
What other filters you got cooking or that you just recently released?
The ones we released recently is BMW X7. We also did a Ferrari S430, the 911, the 992 models, Hyundai Elantra N-Line, and the Hyundai Elantra N, Kia K5s, and we've done some other filters, but they were more like racing filters for racing trucks.
Yes, I know that very, very well. So
yes,
yeah, you guys have been very busy with a lot of some of the bigger competition engine builders, Joe Gibbs Racing, Team Terrible Herbst. I know that. I know Dugan Racing. But yeah, some of those filters, the best of the best are actually coming, knocking on our door and saying, we need these filters. And you guys have been very diligent, your engineering team, George, to produce and deliver.
Yeah.
They're very satisfied with those ProGuard 7s you're cranking out. Those are some big filters too.
Yes, they're almost actually size-wise, they're bigger than the than the RHO ones. So
definitely. Yeah. Oh, there you go. There's one of them right there.
Yeah.
That has probably got to be one of the largest
yeah, for the trophy trucks, yes.
Round filters. Yeah, those are definitely for the trophy trucks. So moving along, because this could be a whole webinar on itself talking about this, and we might even do that. I think our Mr. Simpson is online with us, and maybe he can help put together our next webinar when we talk to some of these teams. Other than the filter development, you've been busy with a lot of protection products. What can you elaborate on those?
Yeah, we've worked on new covers and transmission pans, oil pans. We just released the L5P oil pans. We also did the transmission pan for the new what do you call it, for the GM diesel trucks, for the Allison transmission. And we just released last week an oil pan for the Jeep JL 2.0. We've been doing a few of them packages also, like differential covers, like it's a full service kit. It's front and rear diff covers and includes the gear oil. So we've done some of that. We got quite a few new products that will be released, I would say, in the next we're releasing one this week for the this is a diff cover for the 8.8 Ford, but there is a whole list, like 8 of them in the next 6 months that we're going to be releasing.
Any new product that you're going to have out at SEMA that you can share with us?
The main one for the SEMA that we want to display is because we have the whole package now, all the covers for the LC0, the GM LC0 engine. We have the oil pan, we got the transmission pan, the front diff cover, and the rear diff cover. So it's basically everything that you can change, and for protection, we have it for that vehicle. So that's going to be like the our main display on the casting side for that.
Wow. And then on top of that, you're also working on throttle bodies. That product line is definitely exploding.
Yeah.
How's that working
That
out?
one is taking off. That one is taking off. Actually, that's surprising me a little bit more. I knew it would do well, but I didn't realize how much it's catching on. So it's just I gotta work on a few more releases. For SEMA, the one I'm gonna be showing, and it should be released in the next couple of weeks, is for the Hellcat engine.
Wow. Okay.
So a big board for the Hellcat.
That's huge. Yeah.
And then the other 2 big ones are gonna be the EcoBoost, the 4 EcoBoost throttle bodies. That's gonna be for the 3.5, 3.0s, 2.7s, and the 2.3.
I was going to say, I was surprised to see that we still offer like a 5-liter. That market has kind of been heavily, well, it's red ocean, it's definitely flooded with product out there, but
yeah,
you seem to be doing really well with the aFe brand of throttle bodies for the 5-liter. So that tells us that we're still resonating with the Ford guys big time.
Yeah.
Mustang
And then
guys.
we just released also the the earlier gen, the 15 but the earlier engine, which is the 15 through 17 on the 5-liter, because we had the 18 plus, but the we released for the that one right there, the 15 through 17. So yeah, that one is doing pretty good. But I guess the one that really amazes me how well in the Throttle Bodies, how well we're selling are the Toyotas. Toyotas are like outselling everything.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely more of those on the road.
Yeah,
that we see out there.
Yeah.
Any new emerging market platform vehicles that are coming out that you see, other than obviously the new diesels, the LZ0, the Tundra, any other new product, or excuse me, new vehicle platforms coming out that you see that are emerging market that you're developing product for?
Sorry, on which product are you asking me about?
Any products.
Oh, any products?
Any products that you're in charge of?
I mean, yeah, there's going to be, of course, a lot more coverage on the Throttle Bodies. I was trying to first cover the main, first start up with the muscle cars, which I think I'm almost there. I covered most of them. And then I threw in there some of them, like I said, the Toyotas, the GR86, that one kind of that one was a pretty good one, because that is their sports section of it. On the Fords, the 5-liters, the EcoBoost. So on the Throttle Body list, I'm gonna start expanding more like to the European ones. So that's my next step. So on Throttle Bodies, probably like the Alphas, that seems to be like a good market, like a little niche market that's doing pretty well.
Yeah.
And then BMWs and Porsches are the other. With the owner of the company wants me, especially for Porsches and the BMWs, to start hitting those markets.
Is it kind of a natural progression, like you're developing, let's say, an OER filter for an application, and then you gotta go into the throttle body, or is there any correlation to that?
Yes, yeah, in a sense, yes, because the other thing that I'm also working on now is the throttle body spacer, so that comes into hand too. So when I look to the throttle body, I gotta look, okay, throttle body spacer, and then also the fill. So it all goes in conjunction with, the only one that's a little separate, it's like I would say the covers and pans.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to keep moving along here because we're a little already short on time. But George, thank you so much. That was a lot of information, and we'll see you out at SEMA with your best dress and showing off all your greatest and latest products in the booth. Now we're going to jump on over to Mr. Justin Schultz. Justin, you're up at bat. Let's talk about some suspension and other Gamma products that you might be working on. I know charge pipes have been really lighting the world on fire in your department. You want to talk about some new products?
Yeah, for our new products this year, we've got a couple of new ones. So for suspension, we released the upper control arms for the Toyota Tacoma. It also fits the 4Runner and the Land Cruiser, the LC250. Got the level spacers out for the Tacoma, and we're still working on some coilovers coming out for the Tacoma, 4Runner, and LC250. We'll actually have the coilovers installed on a 4Runner at the show. I'm not sure which booth. John Gray might know more on that one. But those should be released this year. We released a lift kit for the Subaru Crosstrek. That's a 2018 to 2023. So that's a new one that we just get right there on the screen. So that's the full body lift kit there. So for the Crosstrek, those seem to be, doing well for us. We've got some for the Outbacks and a couple other vehicles. So, and then we released the sway bar for the Challengers. So the 2008 to 2023 Challenger sway bar that fits all of the models all the way up to the Hellcats and everything. So it's a pretty thick bar on that one.
And that's just suspension, right? Because I know you got a plethora of other products too. But just to cover the control arms, So those, I know you had a couple of new applications at last year's SEMA show, the LC250, but now you're going more into the 4Runner and the Tacoma platforms.
Correct. Yeah. Try and cover that whole lineup. The 4Runner's new for this year. A lot of the stuff is shared with the LC250, so that's nice for us,
Okay.
at least on the suspension side. So
the 4Runner and Tacoma have the same features and benefits as the LC250 control arms?
Yeah, this control arm is actually the same for all three. The coilovers are going to be different for each one. The Tacoma's got a different lower control arm on it than the 4Runner, and the Land Cruiser share the same lower control arm. So any of the shocks and coilovers we make for the Land Cruiser will fit on the 4Runner, but Tacoma is going to be separate. So,
wow,
yeah,
that's a lot of suspension coming out of that department, and it's kind of a wide variety too. You got Subaru, you got Toyota, I know, and then Challenger. I mean, that's a big market for us. I've seen a lot of other products going out for those platforms, Charger, Challenger, and the Dodge products. On the sway bar, what's the feature and benefits on the sway bar for the Challenger?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is just the stiffness on them for, cornering and everything, right? So we have the three-way adjustable rear bar and a two-way adjustable front bar on that one. They're all, billet CNC machined ends welded on to the bar, so they're not just stamped formed bars there. We make all the bushings and everything in-house for that one. So yeah, we've got full control over the build quality on all this. So
are the bushings
we really
poly?
try to dial it in to make it really stiff on there. So you can see the graph here comparing the front and the rear.
Wow. It needs a bar.
Yeah.
That factory bar didn't do a whole heck of a lot there. Are the bushings?
Like
yeah. Are the bushings that come with our bar, are those solid? What material are those? Are those poly?
They are polyurethane. Yeah, they're a Shore 90A polyurethane. And there's some Teflon and some other or graphite, added to it. So for tear resistance and extrusion and all that stuff. And then it's got a CNC machined billet cap to go over it with a Zerk fitting in there for greasing.
I think you're muted, Mike.
Excellent job on that. That looks good. I like that billet piece. That is a plus for the grease zerts. So just in case you go through some water occasionally, you can go ahead and grease those bushings. Moving along from the suspension and going into the charge pipes. I know that's been a huge growth segment there for you. What's cooking in that realm?
Charge pipes are definitely a big growing market. We're up, 50% just over last year. Couple new applications. We could start with the one she's got on the screen here. That is our stainless steel OER series charge pipes for the Colorado 2.8 diesel. So that fits the 2016 to 2020. We're also working on the 21 to 22. They just changed out one of the couplers. That top left coupler for the 21 and 22 has a quick connect built in. So we're going to be getting that vehicle in shortly and having another kit released for that one soon. So this one, the big features and benefits, I guess, would be the material. It's all 304 stainless. You don't have to worry about corrosion, resistance or anything. So it'll hold up over time. We use the Hen quick connects on there for the interface from the charge pipe to the intercooler. So a leak-free. It's an OEM quality part. So the diameter on these is actually identical to the factory charge pipes. So we're not really increasing performance on this one in a traditional sense, but the factory charge pipe on the cold side is prone to failure. So they're plastic and they have some sonically welded on areas that tend to crack over time. So that cold tube is actually one of our best sellers. We had a performance kit out for quite a while, and those actually sold really well. And as soon as we introduced this, they took off as well. But really, it's a problem solver for that cold side, and that seems to be the one that people are buying is just that cold side by itself. So
that makes sense. That definitely a problem solver in sense that you're replacing or upgrading the stock plastic piece with a stainless steel too. You've got some other charge pipes that you've released recently?
yeah, we have a couple more. So the Colorado Canyon, the 23 and up. So that's the 4-cylinder 2.7 turbo. Yeah, we just released these this year as well. So we've got them in black, red, or you can do the individual hot and cold tubes in black. So these are out, 33% flow increase on that. Replaces, the full track right there. Uses the billet style quick connects on that one. So nice heavy duty machine part there. And yeah, that's our latest one that fits all of the models. So they've got a couple different power output versions for that engine, depending on which model you get on that truck. And these will fit all of them. So
okay. But these are a little bit more performance oriented in terms of there's more flow rate there. They're larger diameter. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. And last but not least, you got some new oil coolers coming out?
Yeah, actually, we have one more charge pipe, I guess, to add on to what we've been doing for the intake line there. The Ford Bronco Raptor and Ranger Raptor.
Okay.
We just released the new charge pipes for that one this year. So.
Oh yeah, can't forget that.
If you want to show that one there, so also available in red or black. But yeah, replaces, that's the full kit right there. So you can see the two hot sides go all the way down. They're independent paths all the way up to the intercooler, and then the single cold side coming out of the intercooler back up to the throttle body.
So how's that obviously that's been well received. How are the numbers looking so far? So are you production keeping up with demand, or?
Yeah, we've I think pre-sold almost 50 of those things before we actually launched the product. Wow. And then we've already built another 50, and those are gone, and we're working on the next one. So yeah, they've been moving pretty good. And they fit, Ranger and Bronco. The intakes, we have two different ones because of the housing, but the charge pipes are actually the same across both vehicles.
Okay, so the same SKU works on both the Bronco Raptor and the Ranger.
Yeah. And we did keep on this one, you see the longer hoses on there. So typically we try to minimize the hoses that we use to, the shortest distance possible. But this is a lot more off-road oriented vehicle. So those actually help with the movement and everything else. So, and they also have those Hen style quick connects for that leak-proof seal. So.
Awesome. Wow, that's really good. And what's the factory material that they're using? What's Ford using for the?
They're all plastic on those.
They're all plastic. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that for them, good for us.
Yeah.
Definitely makes an improvement part and a problem solver, like you mentioned. All right. Yeah. So we're almost getting close out of time, but you also had the new oil cooler.
Yeah, we have an oil cooler for the Ford F-150. It's the 2015 to 2020. So it fits with the 6R80 or the 10R80 transmission. It's a complete bolt-on kit. Comes with all the stuff you need as far as the fittings, brackets, hoses, everything. So it's a direct bolt-on kit right there.
Nice. So it comes complete. You don't need to go. Wow, that's great.
Just add a little extra oil.
So it has a little bit more capacity?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be adding the capacity, basically whatever this cooler and hoses will hold there. So it is an upward facing cooler. So basically, it won't drain back down when you shut the vehicle off. So you're going to have that extra capacity in the cooler.
Nice. So obviously this is definitely kind of falling into the protection thermal genre, but what's the feature or benefit it's in terms of like who needs this part?
Really anybody that's going to be towing with the vehicle. If you're just running a stock truck and maybe throw some stuff in the back every once in a while, you might never notice your transmission temps going up. But a lot of these trucks have quite a high towing capacity nowadays. I think some of the new Fords are up in the 13,000 pounds.
Wow.
And when you're in that 10 to 13,000 pound range on a half-ton truck like this, you are pushing it, and it does heat up quite a bit. So yeah, it just gives you a little extra capacity, brings that transmission fluid all the way to the front, get a little bit more convection cooling on that. This truck does have a factory cooler built in, but it's a heat exchanger mounted right next to the transmission. So they actually run coolant up to the front, and the coolant comes back down to the transmission cooler, and it's got like a real small heat exchanger right there. So it's not very effective. So this one is actually in series with the factory one. So you keep the factory one, but we actually run the hoses all the way up to the front to this secondary one, and then all the way back down to the transmission. So get a lot better cooling.
Is it in the same location as the factory? Are they stacked?
The factory one stays in its location underneath the truck. It runs into the factory radiator. So this is just going to be mounted in front of all of that.
Okay. Wow. Lots coming out of your department, and that's definitely been keeping you busy. So, and that one is that shipping now, or is that pre-release?
Yeah, that's shipping now. We released that one earlier this year.
Okay. So what new product will you have out at SEMA?
Pretty much everything I've covered here is going to be out at SEMA. And then we'll also have a couple products that aren't released yet. As far as the RHO that we're bringing out, we'll have a prototype charge pipe on that one. So we're working on getting something finished up to install on the truck. And then we'll have the charge pipes on the Genesis G70 that'll be in our booth. Very similar to the Kia Stinger 3.3 liter, but it just uses a different coupler for the intercooler. So,
well, that makes it convenient. I mean, the less SKUs, and if they cross over, that definitely makes it easier for our customers out there. So, like I said, we're kind of running a little longer on time. How much? Maybe we get John squeezed in here for about 5 minutes. You're up, John.
Okay.
So what new products have you come out with on the exhaust side?
Well, so far this year, we've released 30 exhaust systems, which is about 25 new vehicle applications.
And we're going to talk about every single one of them right now.
Yeah. Okay. The Ram, obviously, the RHO, and then the Hurricane engine. Those are still two different cat packs. The 4Runner was another big one, very similar to the Tacoma and the LC 250. All of those, people love the sound of them, so that's working out really well. We just completed the Ranger Raptor as well. So we're all kind of looking at the same vehicles to try to do all the products for. So we've done a whole line of products for the Mazdas. I think we have all the 25 Mazdas covered except for the CX-30, which the CX-70 and CX-90 are moving very well for us. Nobody's doing anything, and the system came out really well. So
Mazda seems to be that surprise platform for the exhaust team this year, huh?
Yeah, and we're continuing on. We've had good luck with the Kias and the Hyundais, so we did several new applications for those.
Nice. Any new products, like brand new coming out, like stuff you might have at SEMA or pre-released?
We'll have the RHO exhaust there. As far as exhaust, everything that'll be at SEMA, we've released. We'll have like the CX-50 exhaust and the Ranger Raptor exhaust. They show a little bit different. So
Nice. That's the RHO we're looking at. Nice. Can't wait to hear that live and in person. Manifolds. I know you've been working on some stuff there. Can you talk about those applications?
we've got a couple of diesel applications, but the big one is the DT Ram, the 5.7 Hemi. Those break stock manifolds, so we decided to make a new cast manifold. It's a little bit heavier material wise, little better flow. We're including making it so we have a longer stud, so the heat expansion, it should help with the heat expansion on those, which is causing a lot of the warping and the cracking and the breaking of studs. So we have that on the DT, which is the 19 to 24, and possibly the new 26. We haven't seen it yet. But then next month we have the DS, which is the 09 to 18, and the classic Hemis. That one will be released next month.
So is this manifold more of a problem solver and performance, or just like an OE replacement?
Yeah, more of a problem solver. It will flow better. We're not really doing dyno numbers on it, but we made it so that we would have less fracturing, even headers. Everybody's headers, the factory manifolds, they're all breaking at some point in time.
Okay. So the pivotal shift for some of these new products that are in development are really problem solvers, because the OEs are starting to kind of go more budget and more economy and less durability. And so it's kind of good for us in terms of coming up with products that are made with better materials, and right here in Corona, California.
Yep.
US of A.
Yep.
So other than your exhaust duties, John, I know you got a lot of things on your plate, but you've also tasked with our exterior products like the TerraGuard, off-road products like the sliders, the steps, bumpers. What other products in that category have you been working on that's new?
Well, the big ones have been the bull bars or light bars. We introduced the LC 250 last year, and that's taken off very well. We introduced the Bronco earlier this year. Not a lot of traction yet, but not a lot of people know about it. So we'll be doing some stuff on that. We have a new one coming out on the RHO that will be at SEMA.
Wow.
No images available for that for anyone except me.
No. We do have something,
a
little teaser right here.
Okay.
So it's already out.
Leaked. Without my knowledge.
Uh-oh.
Teaser, that's the whole truck.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's good to know. Some of the benefits of that one, features are not shown there and will be revealed at SEMA. Maybe before, but it's going to be a pretty nice product, I think. We also have the rock sliders for that. We have in development the Tacoma and the Forerunner for bull bar as well.
Nice.
So with those, we're basically everything's being mounted to the tow hook location. So we'll relocate the tow hooks and be able to put shackle mounts on those, or shackles, be able to put lights on them, and a couple of other things in the future.
Now these are going to be bolt-on bars. There's no fabrications, there's no cutting, there's no modifications that are going to be made to the factory components, or?
So far, all the vehicles we've done, we haven't had to do any cutting. We've figured out ways to do it. Fairly easy install. Yeah. so far it's been really good. Our goal is to not have to do any cutting on the
Right.
vehicle and
So
be
make
able to
these-
remove it later if you want. Just bolt on.
Nice. So you can reverse the process.
It's,
Awesome. Any other new products that you're going to be featuring out at SEMA this year?
we will have the rock sliders, as I said, on the RHO.
Mhm.
That's a new one, not really catching on yet, but we're developing a few of those along the way.
Mm.
So
Nothing else, huh? Not working on anything for the beds of any trucks. Hint, hint.
well, in the future, certain people will be privy to some of the tonneau cover stuff we're doing. We've been working on that for a couple of years now, and we're getting close, but not close enough to show the product at SEMA,
Mhm.
but we'll have pictures and stuff available to a few people. So
All right. So you heard it here first, folks. Tonneau covers in the pipeline coming in the future, but not at SEMA, but coming
not
soon.
at SEMA. Basically, the tonneau covers are our design is to cater to the overland community. So it's something different than what's available.
Nice.
Yep.
Can't wait to see that. We're excited. Guys, again, we're out of time. Thank you so much for your time today. I know you got lots to do in preparation for SEMA. And for those of you who joined us today, if you're going to be going out to SEMA, again, we'll be at Central Hall, booth number 22343. Excuse me, 23343. Got a typo on my own little copy here. And also, if you're lucky enough to head out in December to the PRI show and sunny, wintry Indiana, that's going to be held December 12th to the 14th. We'll be at booth 2707. So look for aFe at PRI and at SEMA this year. Again, thanks again for your time for joining us today. If you have any questions about any of the products we talked about today, you can definitely visit or you can go online to the website, afepower.com, or you can also contact us directly. Tarene, housekeeping, you got stuff?
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining. I'll be sending an email with a recap video of this webinar, so feel free to share it with anyone else at your organization. And stay tuned for the next webinar, which I believe should be after SEMA. So,
If we
yeah.
survive, whatever's left of us, we'll pull one off.
Okay,
All
well,
right,
thank you,
thanks
everyone.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for joining us.
Thank
Have a
you.
great one. Bye-bye.